for me, it's the last chance for you. Last chance for me, it's the last chance for you. Last chance for me, will I make it, will I take it to the top, we gon' see.
What up? Episode 20 of the Slapdick podcast, coming to you on this fine Wednesday morning in sunny Southern California. We got a special guest in-house, live, on camera. Came out and graced our presence from Portland. He's an author of The Big Three. Has a very influential face in The Big Three, if you guys are familiar with it. On CBS, Ice Cube, Big Three basketball tournament that made a huge splash the last couple years by the name of Oliver Maroney. Give it up. Appreciate you coming. Oliver, we always start the pod off with a quote of the day. So, little for you guys out there, my little quote of the day today is: no matter how long you have traveled in the wrong direction, you can always turn your ass around. Just remember that. Oliver, what's up, Free?
So we hope we can turn it around. I'm still trying to turn the shit around.
Yeah, we still trying to turn our shit around.
I've been trying to listen to your fucking quotes, but I've been trying to.
Yeah, I don't think you listen to them. I think you hear them, man, but you don't fucking listen. There's a huge difference. We used to tell our players that shit, Oliver. Goddamn.
Man, it's all the time.
Damn, don't just hear me. Listen.
Damn.
Oliver, man, introduce yourself to everybody, man. Tell us where you're from, how you got started with the Big Three, and any other things you want to start off with.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate you coming out, obviously, to the championship game this summer. That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Appreciate you.
But, I mean, in terms of myself, obviously I'm basically I would consider myself born and raised in Portland, Oregon, up in the Pacific Northwest.
But you actually were birthed here.
Well, yep. Okay. I was born in Redondo Beach, California. Moved up to Portland before I could really remember. So, but yeah. I mean, for me, look, I started this when I was in middle school. Actually, I started writing for the local paper. I covered high school sports. Yeah. And the local paper had some job opportunities for anybody. Didn't matter what age you were. This is back in the day when there's no minimum wage or you're anything like that. And they would pay the price of admission for you to go in and clock stats for the high school guys. And that was when, Portland sports, we had guys like Kevin Love, Terrence Ross, Terrence Jones, like some real ball players that played in the NBA for a long time or are still playing. And so I got a chance to cover them. Understand kind of their families and just the people around them, people around really good basketball players when I was young, and I fell in love with it. I love the game of basketball since I was a little kid, but I can't play worth shit.
I was going to ask you.
So this is the next best thing, right? I mean, you see some football analysts, obviously, that haven't played the game before, but they've watched it, they've grown up with it, they follow it. My niche, obviously, was in... if people don't know, just player relationships, keeping relationships with people, understanding who they are, not trying to take them out for just what the statistics say or what this says or what the media is going to say. I'm not looking for the poppy quote or the clickbait. I'm always trying to tell the real truth of that player, that person, and I think underneath everybody, there's some good, and that's what I try and pull out. Look, there's good in every single player that you see, and they do things that nobody else does, and that needs to be highlighted. And so that's really how I started in journalism and writing and covering basketball, and from there, obviously, covered the NBA for a couple different publications: Basketball Insiders, Dime Magazine, Up Rocks, and I did a story on Ice Cube, Ice Cube and Jeff, found in this Big Three league, which I love, and somebody sent it over to me and said, hey, have you heard about this league? They've got all sorts of players in it. This is what it's going to be. Ice Cube's found it, and Ice Cube, just a legend, an icon, obviously. Boys in the Hood. It was a good day. All the different tracks that he's done. I mean, it's incredible to see all the things that he's been a part of. Even like going up to Ride Along with Kevin Hart, things like that. It's just
he's a fucking soundtrack to our life, man.
And so, being able to understand why he did it and to see it happen, that's what I did. I told the story. He watched Kobe's last game. He got inspiration. Rest in peace, Kobe, and obviously all the others involved in the helicopter crash. But I mean, he saw his last game and said, "How can a dude like this retire? He just dropped 60 points. That's not fair." And you look in professional sports, you got players that you've coached, players in the NFL, and the NFL, unfortunately, like other careers, you can choose when you want to end your career. You can retire at 55. In the NFL, they say, well, nah, we don't got a spot for you. That's it.
Damn.
And then you may be done forever.
Not for long, NFL.
That's what it stands for. You know it. And so I think for me, that's really what I tried to highlight is that story and that journey for them, and they loved it. We worked together on it for a few months, and from there started working with the league, doing some script writing, doing some stories, doing content, and finally they brought me in full time, and it's been a blast, man. I really enjoy working with Cube, Jeff, the whole team that we have going. It's special. It's a startup environment. I do a little bit of everything. Everybody asks me, "What's your title? What's this? What's that?" There ain't no title in the Big Three. I'm doing everything I possibly can to make this thing work.
No doubt. I could tell. You're a big face in it, man. I see you all over. I know you just had an interview with Mark Cuban, and that was great, man. I thought you did a hell of a job. But, like you said, man, you don't have to play the sport, I don't think, to be great at it. I think when you're great at the sport as a player, you're really shitty as a coach. I found that to be true. If you look at the great coaches, Charlie Weiss never played. He won a few Super Bowls as the OC for Belichick. Belichick was a D3, DB. Mike Leach never played. He was a lawyer growing up here in Southern California, Pepperdine.
Wow.
There's a lot of people that didn't play the game that are very good as a coach. I think it goes both ways. I think there's that it factor involved as a player. You can possibly know the heartbeat of the player because you played it. So there's pros and cons. And then there's the players that don't, the coaches that don't play it, and then they kind of start from zero and don't know shit and say, fuck it, I'm gonna do it this way, and they're very successful. So you're one of those guys, man, and you're successful at it. So. Man, I know you mentioned Kobe. We can't get over the loss here, especially in LA. He's one franchise guy. Being here 20 years, we grew up watching him. Even though I'm a few years older than Kobe, I told people we ran into each other a few times, different places. Century Club back in the day, he was 17 years old. Poly Pavilion working out. He was about 25 in the prime of his life. And, I don't have a lot of younger heroes, but he was one of them. One word that describes Kobe for you, man. I know he was a huge deal for you. I've seen your posts on Twitter and Instagram. Same with me. But what's one word that describes Kobe, man?
Man, I can't. That's the thing about Kobe. I don't think you can describe him in one word. But if I was to do it,
just to you, like personally, maybe
persistence.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is he never ever let anything get in his way of doing what he needed to do to get it done. Mm-hmm. He was always hammering away, chipping away at whatever he needed to do. Every summer, he was persistent in being better. He always worked on something. And that's what's so special about him. Like, there were almost, and people talk about it, the 8 and the 24.
Yeah.
There were almost 2 eras of Kobe.
Identical.
When's the last time that we've had a player that you could say has had 2 eras?
10 years apiece, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that. It's just like the way that he played was completely different.
Yeah.
He was a monster early on, but later on he understood, and I think Phil Jackson in his book says it best.
Yeah.
He says, Kobe's 7 is everybody else's 10 and a half.
Yeah.
So Kobe never understood, like, he early on, he got frustrated at players. When Shaq left, he got frustrated at guys because he didn't understand that they couldn't go any harder.
Yeah.
Because his 10 is like everybody else is like 25. Like
everybody else is maxed out.
Yeah, everybody maxed out.
Room,
Exactly. And so I think that tells you all you need to know about the man, and obviously the legend that is Kobe Bryant. And for me, just persistence. Continuing to hammer away at things. It's special, man.
It would have been nice to see him up to Big 3, man. That would have been real nice.
He would never have done that.
but he was done. That's the thing that was so special about it.
Yeah.
I don't see many players who retire and they're that at peace with the decision.
No doubt.
Right.
We're going to come back. We're going to do... They weren't faltering, you know what I mean? And he was arguably greater at his second life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the sad part.
And the 2 10 years numbers, 8 and 24, even though they're 2 different players, like you say, because I've watched Kobe shit every single game I could think of, but the stats are very eerily similar.
They're not that far apart.
Similar. They're almost exactly the same.
But when you watch him,
I know.
it's like, and that's what I
think about it. The older he got, and the more that he had to.
Yep.
So how much smarter do you think he really was than everybody else? That just tells you, because
absolutely,
to almost identically score the same, assist the same shooting percentage, the same 3-point, the same big time game-winning shots in number 24. It's almost like, fuck, this guy is just magical, you know what I mean, and has done great things. But all right, here we go. One word that describes Ice Cube.
Oh man,
it's crazy. I heard the Ice Cube story, not to cut you off, and he was talking about it's unrealistic about Kobe. He said, I texted him, and I don't know if you saw that interview, but Cube was like, I text Kobe, and I was like, there's no way that this happened, and I'm waiting for the text, because Kobe would always text me back, and he was like, it's unbelievable that I didn't get the text back, and he said that's when it sank in. And that was unfortunate. But one word that describes Kobe to you. Ice Cube.
Who? Workaholic.
Really?
I've never seen anybody like him. I mean, you name any superstar out there, I know they got their tours, their concerts. He juggles somehow concerts, script writing, and movies. He's still working on next Friday, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Big 3, he co-founded it. He's very much involved in it. I don't know a person who works
FedEx dude
more than he does, and that tells you all you need to know about like the trickle down effect. You talk about coaching. If a coach ain't in his office, if he ain't really running plays, if he ain't studying things, if he isn't following through on things, if he isn't putting his all into it, that trickles down to the players. Absolutely, in my opinion. And it's the same thing with a business, and you need a CEO, you need a co-founder, you need a founder who's going to drive that force all the way down, and he's going to tell you exactly how much everybody should be working and striving to be better. And I think that's what makes him special. You know, that's what makes him unique. He's always looking at new ideas, and he's willing to listen. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, we're on a call yesterday. It's like, what ideas you guys got? Like, it is a very collaborative kind of deal, and he's open to it because he knows that he's going to win if he can take everything together that everybody thinks is the best and put it together.
That's hard for some bosses or people over you to do sometimes.
It's real, man.
Listen in.
It's real.
You know, Oliver, that's funny you say that, because, you know, I had a motto in my office, man, as the head coach, but my motto was, it ain't about me, it's about us. And it goes for Fortune. I've spoke that at some Fortune 500 companies, at some the largest RV company in the world, Mike Thompson. But I've got to speak to their management and sales teams, like, they've adopted that, and they put it up, they've wrapped it up themselves. But, like, I don't want to, at the end of the day, you're the head guy. Ice Cube has to make the final decision or the executive decision. I had to make the executive decision. Those are what the head or the head guy or the manager or the supervisor or the CEO, they got to make those hard decisions at the end of the day. But do you micromanage it? Are you allowing it to be a democratic decision as a staff or as a team? Or are you a dictator? And so I always tried to be the democratic style, even though I had to dictate certain things, obviously, because it's on my shoulders at the end of the day. A lot of people don't understand that either until you sit in that chair. You know what I mean? And so people always want to say, oh, hell no, JV was crazy. Well, you know, they can say that about every boss. I'm sure there's people that work at the big 3 that probably are pissed at Ice Cube. You know what I mean? But that's just how the world is, and shit rolls downhill. But here's a fun one, man. One word that describes fucking Michael Rappaport. I talked to him yesterday. He's at the Laugh Factory tonight in Long Beach.
Shit stain.
Oh man, yeah. Donald Trump, you.
Hey, I got. He's pissed off at. You see the Gail interview with Lisa Leslie?
No, when was this?
I heard about it
Yesterday. Gail. Shit, I don't even know her name, man. I tell you, that's how much I think of her. She basically is
Oprah's chick, right?
Yeah,
Oprah's homegirl.
And they say her and Oprah used to fuck, so who knows? But anyway, she's interviewing Lisa Leslie, Oliver, and basically giving her the fucking riot act about Kobe, about bringing up this rape case, all this shit.
Oh, man.
And Lisa's like, didn't take the bait. I respect the shit out of her from just watching her today coaching those grown men. I ultimately
you was in awe with her.
I was in awe. Spree was with us, and I wanted to get.
You got a picture with her, right?
I did.
Yeah, we got that. We got.
And, you know, we played state championship game the same years. when I was at Artesia with the O'Bannon brothers and those guys.
Yep.
And so Lisa was playing before us up in Sacramento for the state championship at her high school,
That's
Morningside.
cool.
So got to see her then. But, what she's done has been phenomenal. But, she didn't take the bait, and she straight told her, Kobe wasn't that guy that I know. And she was like, well, you wouldn't know. And she was like, basically like, he ain't that guy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And the last I checked, man, in this country, you fucking win or you lose a case. Right or wrong, there's been wrongfully accused people that we know.
Yeah, we know it.
Especially where me and Spree grew up. But where he was it was dropped. The girl didn't even want to come forth and testify. And later she's on tape that me and Spree already talked about at a party in Vegas, and Shaq was there and even said it. So, I mean, like, I don't understand why they keep bringing this shit up. But I'm glad Lisa didn't take the bait.
Social media, man. That's what it is.
But Rappaport blasted her yesterday. Blasted Gail for saying, fucking classy ass Lisa Leslie. I'm glad you didn't take the bait, and fucking Gail and Oprah were fucking and all that. So anyway, Rappaport's a fool. But I would say I say the one word for Mike
in Long Beach tonight, by the way.
Yeah, Life Factory. My one word for him, I don't know, man. It's probably a straight fool. But what's yours?
It's so tough because there's so many describe.
I love him.
I as a person, he's a good dude. Like, he's a real good dude, down to earth. Like,
no doubt.
Outside of like his Laugh Factory and comedy tours and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But I would say, probably. Oh man. I mean, I just don't know, man. That's a tough one. He. Sometimes, like I called him the other day. I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" He said, "What do you want from me? What do you want from me?" Oliver, I mean, really, just tell me what you want. And he just like goes on this little rant about it, and I'm like, "This is like you're on your podcast, but you're talking to me." It's like I don't get, So
he can separate, huh?
Sometimes he just has fun with it. It's funny. I don't know. I would say he is strategic.
Really?
I think he knows what he's doing, man. I think he knows what he's doing. He loves to push buttons, and he knows. This is the thing about Mike that people don't understand. This social media era, people take Mike's words as if it's like the Bible.
Okay. Yeah.
It ain't the Bible. He's having fun with stuff.
Yeah.
That's in New York where he grew up. That's how people treat each other. That's how they do things. That's how they used to do things. You clown on people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he had a friend. He'd be like, "Yo, Dick Stain, this or that," like whatever. That's just
why we hit it off.
That's the show, exactly, and that's comedic. That's what he likes to do. He enjoys it. And so, people can love or hate it, but like honestly, as a lot of people have said, if you don't have haters, then what are you really doing? You're not doing a ton right. So I think for a guy like Mike, that stands out to me. He's very strategic.
Oh yeah. I don't know if there's one word, but like he gives a fuck less. That's a sentence.
Oh man, Mike.
Favorite part, man. What's your favorite part of the job, man? And explain kind of the ins and outs of what you kind of do. I know you wear a lot of hats, but what's your favorite job? What's your favorite part of the job? And with the Big Three.
My favorite. Moments.
Aspects,
My favorite aspect or moment of being a part of the Big Three is being in the championship locker room as they win. As always, every season, that's the only thing, like, I have my mind on all these different things, but at the end of the road, I know that championship celebration, I'm going to be a part of it, and I'm going to get a champagne bottle, and I'm going to try and find somebody.
Like a Staples last year.
Staples. I got Al Jefferson real good last year. Yeah. And that's just like what I love to do it. Yeah. I love to do that stuff. But, like, for me, my role is varying, wide-ranging. I do appearances for the Big Three, obviously, like radio shows, stuff like that, podcasts. But outside of that, I mean, I really do PR. I manage the content that goes up, a lot of it. And so we shoot videos. We did the one with, Reggie Theus, Mark Cuban, you mentioned that. All that sort of stuff that goes on our website, goes on the CBS broadcast, goes in some way, shape, or form to help put this thing together. And then I do writing, so journalism, just to, help people out in writing their stories, whether it's a player that wants to put their story out or whatever. And then on top of that, it's just like marketing in general as a whole. So That can be anything, if I need to hop on a call to deal with a sponsor, if I need to, do this or that or the other thing, it's wide ranging, but mostly PR, media relations. I know a lot of media. They're a lot of friends of mine. Yeah. And, my job really is to make sure that if they want an interview with somebody, we can handle it. We can get it taken care of.
No doubt. Kudos to you, man. I watch what you say and do, and how you interact with these guys. It's pretty damn remarkable. You're only 28, so you're ahead of the game, man.
Thanks.
Where are you going from here? You got an interview today?
Yeah, we were shooting with Michael Cooper today. We did some shoots yesterday with Corey Maggette, Craig Smith, a social media influencer by the name of Josiah Johnson. He did some stuff for Yahoo, and it never stops. It's always trying to churn out more, always trying to make it better. We listen to comments. We're open to feedback. The idea is really, just create the best things that we can create and make this thing grow and continue to grow. This is
beauty of social media.
That's what it is.
You're open-minded. You take some input from people, I guess. Speaking of Corey Maggette, Spree grew up loving Corey Maggette.
Yeah.
You got him that picture last year.
That's a man.
And he posted it. He posted it online and shit.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey Maggette, man.
Too bad he's
analyst for the Clippers, and I always watch that cat, man.
Yeah, too bad.
Corey's a good dude, man. Down to earth, just one of the best in the business for sure.
What was it like interviewing Mark Cuban, man? And second part of that question is what did you take away from it? I mean, did you feel rich for a minute?
No, I did not feel rich at all.
Broker?
Yeah, you're like, what am I doing with my life? Did I mess something up? No. He was really cool. We got in a little bit late. Security didn't have us on a list or something like that. It kind of was a back and forth. We had set this up months in advance. This wasn't something that was just hey, drop of the fly kind of thing.
Where was it at?
Slapdick.
It was in Dallas. It was in his office.
Oh, his office. Is it downtown separated from?
No, it's in the arena. Facility? It's like in the arena, in the basement. I think he's got one off somewhere too. But we go in, and the security guy escorts us to the door. He says, just open it up. He's in there. And I'm like, all right, well... We'll see what happens. He said, hey, Oliver, what's going on? We ready to do this? All right, let's do it. And, it was fun. It was really enjoyable. It was kind of surreal, seeing some guy that you see on TV or you grew up watching or whatever.
Right.
But I love the interview. I love doing it. The one thing I would say, gosh, I'm always critiquing myself. Yeah. So I wore a suit. Everybody's going to notice. I wore a suit, and I had my bottom button buttoned.
Oh, I got heat from one of my former coaches. You're supposed to know better. You're your age group that started that shit.
No.
See, I wouldn't even have that motherfucking button.
You just had the one button at the top with the motherfucker flared open.
No excuse making. It was downright bullshit. I shouldn't have done it. But you know what? Like, in the heat of the moment, I walk in the market.
What's this?
You is Slapdick pretty much.
Why you call me Slapdick?
Because my dick slapped me across your face.
So you're a Slapdick, so go ahead. It's okay.
Hey, that's what it is. I knew I was going to get roasted a few times. It's okay. But no.
No excuse. That's good.
No excuses. No excuses. I got to do better. I got to know about that better. But I will be honest. In the heat of the moment, you walk into Mark Cuban's office and you're trying to set up this interview. Yeah. You got to get it going because you're late. Yeah. That's just the way it is, man. You sit down and you slouch in that chair and you look like, a complete fool. But at the same time, hey, I got the interview done.
Man.
It's done. Hey. It has like 250,000 views on YouTube. Yeah. I'm happy. You know what?
Fuck.
That's all that.
Results-oriented business is the life we live, brother. You got it done.
Every day's an interview, but that interview wasn't. It didn't hurt.
That was almost close to our views, huh? 250,000 or so.
Yeah, right.
You get there, Oliver.
Yeah. I'm trying.
About 250. So what'd you take away from it?
I mean, the biggest thing for me is like he's a regular dude. People are like, oh, is he this? Is he that? Is he stuck up? Is he this? He was in casual clothes, just hanging out in the office, like not doing any, doing stuff, obviously working, but like
shit we don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing that I would know about, but like just in general, just a down to earth guy. Like, hey, what's going on? Like just a normal dude, and I think that's the thing that people like. I get asked all the time. Journalists, kids who want to grow up to be a journalist or an analyst or want to be on TV, ESPN, stuff like that. You hear all the time, how do I get an interview with so and so? How do I get this? How do I get that? How do I get that? And instead of like doing the work to, look, this is 15 years of my life, man. Like this isn't like something that just happened overnight.
You grind it.
They want to jump right to the 15th year.
Hey, give me that Mark Cuban interview. I want to do a Mark Cuban.
Hey, you know what?
So, you know what?
We were just talking about it yesterday, man. Even the rap game, the rappers, and all this different shit in life. Everybody expects the shit to be handed to them now, and it's the lazy generation. I know you're part of that generation.
I'm a part of it, but you know what? I thank my parents so much. Little story sidebar, but like when I was a kid growing up, if I wanted to do sports, my parents weren't convinced that I would commit to it. Mm-hmm. So in order to commit to it and know that I was going to be fully invested, they would make me pay for the sport. Yeah. Wow. So I would go out. If I wanted my own pair of soccer cleats when I was younger, I go out and I get my own soccer cleats. You go mow lawns, you go work for the money, and you get those soccer cleats. And then guess what? You're going to be invested in soccer or whatever you're fucking doing, basketball, whatever it may be. No doubt. So that's how I grew up. Thing, So, I learned very quickly that's the way the world works. You have to earn money and then you have to invest it the right way or feel like you made a good investment and stick to something. And that really sticks. Parents can be all the time paying for kids this, that, and the other thing, registration here, registration there. But you know what? You got to stick to this. You got to do the rest of it. You got to get through it. Do whatever you need to do, and then like I said, from journalists and people around younger kids that want to do this, the most important thing is you got to treat these people like they're regular Joes. They're not look, yes, you can praise them for what they've done, you can talk to them this way or that way or the other way, but it's most important to manage the relationship and act like you're there for them. You care about them. You're not there to get questions answered from them in this way or that way. You're not trying to get quotes. You're not trying to get, clickbaity things out of them. You're here to talk to them man to man, heart to heart. This isn't about whatever you're doing.
Yeah. Right.
My personal gain. Yeah.
Exactly.
No doubt. We were talking about the other day. We were talking about these rappers. They jump on a hot beat that someone used, and then they just want to do this mumble rap shit that me and Rapport hate. We always talk about, me and Spirit were talking. To be fair, they came up with their own genre. It's their own trap rap, whatever they call it.
Trap is not hip hop, people.
Yeah,
just let you know.
It's a totally different thing.
It's a whole different lane.
Yeah,
so old heads don't be mad at trap.
Yeah, we
love hip hop. Yeah. And by the way, Griselda's a new Michael Rapport probably know about these new cats. Called Griselda. You heard of these cats from Buffalo, New York? Michael Rappaport probably knows about them. I'm sure Griselda, they're like the new Wu-Tang Clan.
Really?
They have that sound, but check them out, man.
But I'll have to check them out. I just don't, so we're like, they don't really want to work like cats back in the day. Master P selling them out the trunk and going around and, nowadays they want to take your limelight and fucking run with it and spit off that. And they want to get your Mark Cuban interview and they want to they don't go out.
No, I mean, I get asked all the time. It's like, hey, can you connect me with so-and-so? Can you connect me? It's like, well, hold on a second. What have you done? What would make me want to connect you with someone?
And then you get shit talked about you because you didn't give them the hookup.
I didn't give them the hookup. Yeah. Sorry, bro.
No,
I'm sorry.
That. I had to get it too. I had young coaches similar. It's all relative, man. I mean, I don't give a fuck if you're a Fortune 500 company CEO or a fucking guy at JCPenney warehouse or a coach. You got young coaches that are the same way. I got 13 coaches, Division I jobs, but the bottom line is those guys were hungry. They wanted to go turn over rocks and do it. And when I asked them for something, the ones that get D1 jobs, they fucking have it right there in their hand already. Yep. The ones that say, I'll get it tomorrow, coach, or whatever, they're not going to make it, man. And, I always used to ask one interview question, man. I do Skype interviews. I say, do you want to be a head coach? First question. Or do you want my job? And if they said no, I'd hang up. I wouldn't even talk to them no more. And then the last question I ended with was a Pete Carroll thing. When can you get here?
There you go.
And there's only one answer I wanted.
Now.
That's it. But it's even a faster one than that. It's like, Coach, I'll pull my hamstring getting there.
There you go.
That's a Pete Carroll thing. And if I heard, I gotta check my boob,
this or that,
and I've done a whole interview, and it's fucking my time. That's
even though they may not be needed now, it's the aspect of do you want this or do you not? Yeah. Bottom line, it's do you want it or do you not?
And guess what? There were a lot of those for free jobs.
Yep.
People don't understand. A dorm in Mills is a huge thing. Growing up for me, shit, I would have jumped all over it. We didn't have that out here.
And it's everybody has their own,
These are 22,
walk of life.
23-year-olds,
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Own
Start
walk
somewhere.
of life. You got to start somewhere. And to be honest with you, I mean, the thing about this whole generation, and you're talking about it, and I'm in it, it is that. You just expect that you're going to get paid. You expect that you're going to get this, and this.
Yeah.
You expect it's all expectation
But
driven.
you're an old soul. Look at this. You got you got a left
married,
ring on.
yeah.
You married, kids, 28 years old.
Yep.
Hey, you're on your way, man. Shit, kudos, brother.
You know what? This is what it is. Everybody has their own walk of life, right? I'm not going to judge anyone from anybody else until you start speaking to me. And once I know who you are, what you're about, that tells me all you need to know about who that person is.
Hey, I took all these Division I transfers. They got kicked out of school for this reason, or they left for this reason, or whatever. And I have coaches call me from other schools that are rivals of ours, or my own assistants, and be like, "Coach, man, that motherfucker's a shitbird. He did this, and this." I said, "Listen, he ain't did shit to you, and he ain't did shit to me. I judge these motherfuckers by how they are with me."
Yep.
And so it's the same thing in walking down the street. Every day's an interview. I judge them how I see them or how they are with me. And all this hearsay shit beforehand, it don't mean diddly shit to me. And that's how a lot of people, though, grown folks nowadays, are so quick to judge you for
somebody
seeing
else.
you on 8 hours of film, or seeing you with a Mark Cuban. There'd probably be comments that were fuck you, button to shoot.
Yo, don't wear a suit if you're wearing a suit like that. It's like, all right, fine, whatever. You still watching the video?
No shit. And you ain't doing the interview, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up.
And to me, it's like, you know what? It's kind of sad.
No doubt, it is sad.
It's sad because that person on the other side doesn't have anything better to do than comment on a video.
He ain't helping no one else.
Nobody.
And he's eating donuts.
That's what it is.
Or serving them.
Keyboard thugs. Keyboard thugs.
Shit. Give us a little background, man, on the Big Three. I know it started a few years ago, like you said. I know they've had a few championships. I know. What are the latest rule changes? I know you guys have came up with some new ones. What's some new ones?
Okay, so it started. We're in its fourth season now. It's starting the fourth season this summer.
And not to go drive. If everybody out there don't know the Big Three, he's gonna explain it. There's different rules. There's different boundaries for shots, different scoring. So maybe you can go into that and then talk about the new rules.
If you ever played pickup 3-on-3 hoops,
NBA Jam, that's what the shit is.
Bingo,
live.
That's what it, that's
We're
what
real
it is.
people. Yeah.
This is for I like to say there's basketball and there's basketball culture.
Yeah.
We're for basketball culture.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's cultural currency in basketball, but really the game is
real run and
it's 3-on-3.
Park, yeah.
It's hard-nosed 3-on-3 basketball. There's hand checking. You don't get technical fouls if you want to smack talk.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun of the game is to have that. But I mean, in terms of the actual, some of the rules, we've got a 4-point shot. It's a 4-point circle because Ice Cube, he's smarter than you may think he is.
No, I know he's
but
smart.
I'm telling you right now, him and Jeff came up with this idea where a 4-point line can be defended.
Yeah.
Right?
Circle.
Okay.
4-point circle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. A 4-point line cannot be defended.
You can go
a
anywhere.
4-point circle can be defended. I apologize.
I'm with you.
So that gives you an idea of what they're thinking about. They want to be hard-nosed.
Yeah.
Every basket counts. It's first to 50. It's just like your pickup games to 11 or 21 or however you want to play. It's to 50. Mm-hmm. We go by 2s, 3s, and 4s. Win by 2.
Yeah.
Exactly. Win by 2. And the 4-point circle, if you get fouled on 4-point shot, you take 1 4-point shot for 4 points. Nobody wants to see some dude take 3 free throws.
Yeah.
So let's just have it be 1 shot from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
So some of those wrinkles are in the game right now. The ones that we just announced. So first of all, we dropped the age requirements to 22.
Okay.
So
what was it?
It was 27, and it was initially 30. So it was
they're more over for retired guys.
It was supposed to be for that, and now it is. It's still for that.
So now are you trying to pick away some from maybe college or overseas?
I think the real buy-in here is that you have these 22, 23, 24-year-old kids who either can't get to the NBA or maybe struggle with grades in school and can't get onto a team or whatever the case may be. You got a junior college standout that just hasn't had an opportunity to show what he's got. That's for you. You know, this is what we want to try and showcase. So we have open tryouts for the first time ever. So anybody can try out. Anybody over the age of 22, women or male.
I can still shoot that motherfucker. Just so everybody's out there.
Come out to the tryouts. Show us what you got.
Did I make my first couple shots?
You did. You did. And I didn't record it. And that is my fault.
Results-oriented business, dog.
That's what it is.
Make it or you don't.
Yep.
Chris Mullen, huh? Chris Mullen.
Nah, I'm a righty. I'm Larry, dog. Larry Legend.
Open tryouts are coming soon, so you can try out. Anybody who wants to try out can.
I should go out there and bust some people's asses so you can see, and then put that shit on TMZ or some shit.
There you go.
Oliver, I hope they branch off into some rack 'em up football. Some street ball.
Maybe we start that.
There you go.
Tell Cube if he wants to start that. Let's get it going.
Come talk to us.
Let's get it going.
There you go.
We play 7 on 7.
7 on 7.
No, 7 on 7. Full on.
There you go. There you go.
Come on.
It is Arena League.
Arena League.
But it's we can change it up.
Yeah, we can
put it on a gym floor.
Play it on concrete.
I'm telling you, hey, that's some good going to hoods and play.
There you go.
Street ball.
There you go.
Hey, light pole,
car. The car.
You get my phone?
Yeah. If a car comes, just pause. You know what I'm saying?
You ever seen a movie called Running Man?
Yeah.
Man, Running Man. Remember that shit with Schwarzenegger?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the big changes.
So that's the big changes. We got one more too. That this is my favorite of all the rules. So we have this rule called we changed the name of the game to Fireball 3. So the ball is red.
Okay.
And this just creates separation from your normal basketball. You know, people, they kind of connect the dots with basketball and the NBA. So we wanted to separate that. So Fireball 3, and we have this rule called Bring the Fire. And that, it basically, a player, a coach can challenge. So if a player is going against somebody and they think they got fouled as they're driving, but the ref didn't call it, they can challenge the foul and they can go one-on-one against the dude.
So that's going to be that's how the one-on-one will work this year.
That's nice.
I like that.
This coming season, that's how it'll work. And, so
the NBA, leading to my next question, not to cut you off, but the NBA, I know of talk. I've seen people on the ESPN talking about even adopting some of these things for All-Star games.
They've already adopted some of them.
Yeah. So what are they going to do? Are they doing?
So they're doing. So this next weekend for the All-Star weekend, they got the do zones. Mm-hmm. So essentially, what those is they're 4-point circles, 6 feet behind the 3-point line for the 3-point contest. Okay. So that's what they're going to line up there.
Trae Young,
all those guys who are in the 3-point contest, Lillard, they'll be hitting the do zone thing. Right. And essentially, it's just a 4-point circle. It's the same thing.
Same as you do.
Yeah, exactly. And then the G League took our...
So is Cube smarter than fucking Adam Silver, or what's going on?
I don't know,
you don't have to answer that, but go ahead.
No, I was going to touch on that, though. Really, with these type of rules and that type of excitement, it's a black dude thinking of this type of shit. There's a
lot of black guys that have thought a lot of shit, but they didn't. Jack Daniels owner.
He messed around and got a triple-double. That's all I got to say.
That's why baseball's terrible.
Hey,
the Supersonics.
No celebration.
The Lakers, that's all it is.
So shit. We got a little flavor. You know what I'm saying?
So they did the 4-point play to cut you off. 4-point play on the NBA.
The G League took the free throw rule. So essentially, what that is instead of taking 3 shots from the free throw line when you get fouled on 3-point line, you take 1 shot from the 3-point line. So G League is using that now. And then there's been talks about the one-on-one rule in an all-star setting, things like that. So they've taken a lot of different things from us, and it's fine. It shows, you know what it shows? The biggest compliment is somebody taking something of yours and using it, right? Yeah. I mean, I think that's as weird as that sounds, I think that shows that they're watching what we're doing, and they know that this is coming.
Now, what's going on with your expectations? You said it tryouts are in May. Your season goes from when to when? June to what?
June to about early September.
June to September, and you rotate cities.
Rotate cities every week. It's like a raw. Think about it
So explain this, because I know you broke it down to me. And I was talking to some of the players and a lot of the guys that led the show, man, like Moon and
Jamario.
He loved.
You gotta get him on the show, man.
We still talk all the time. I'm talk to
him.
And we still talk and Byron's son and so we. But what listening to all that shit and seeing how all that worked when I was with you guys, what is the whole? How does it all work as far as tryouts in May? You go through September, you play around. What was interesting to me is you don't practice really.
We practice once a week, basically. I mean, so
wherever you play, if you play in Dallas,
you practice the night before.
In Dallas?
In Dallas.
I don't mean to interrupt, gentlemen, but we have an alert here. The Clippers now have Marcus Morris.
The Clippers got him.
Yeah. Oh.
That was the Lakers were trying to get him.
Dang.
No, the Lakers were trying to get him for Kuzma.
Yeah.
But we're going for championship.
Now, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Yeah, but
Hey.
they
Well, the Lakers don't really need a lot, so that tells you got to worry.
There you go.
No, go ahead, Oliver. Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah, basically, think of it like, an organized league version of a rock band tour. And what I mean by that is we'll go, let's just for instance, we start June 20th. We'll go Dallas June 20th. Yeah. The next week we'll be in Atlanta. The next week after that,
So
Memphis.
after you play Dallas on this 20th, let's say.
Yep.
What happens that week?
Players go to their house, back to their houses, homes. They can work out however they want. Okay. Some teams will work out, off season wise together.
Okay.
So you got a lot of boys in Atlanta, a lot of boys out here in LA, and so they'll work together. The teams will work together.
Okay.
So I know like Enemies, Gilbert's team, they worked together in the offseason last season. Basically from like draft time on, you'll see these guys working out more. We'll have footage of that, things like that. And then, week to week, it's once a week. This is the thing about it. These guys, they've played the NBA a very long time, professionally, overseas, whatever. And they care about their families. They want to be around them still. And so this allows them to have that family life, business, whatever they need to do, while also being able to play at a high level professionally once a week in front of thousands of fans.
They still work jobs and
some of them do. Some of them do. Some of them do real estate. They have side businesses, all sorts of different things going on. And so that's the great part about the league is that you have all sorts of people doing all sorts of different things, and everybody comes together once a week. It's very similar to a rock band tour, though. I got to tell you, hip hop tour, rock band tour, concert tour, whatever.
So you go to all the games?
I go to every city,
every single game.
And
how many games are there?
Six games on a Saturday.
Okay.
And so it's back to back to back to back to back.
So the 12 teams?
12 teams, 6 games. And then what happens is the way we're doing it this year is we're basically doing it a festival kind of atmosphere. So in years past, we've split it up into 2 days. So we used to do like Milwaukee and Chicago. They're close together. Yeah. We'll do 3 games or 3 teams here or 6 teams here, 6 teams here, 3 games apiece or something like that. Yeah. Now we're just putting it all into one. So last year we did this thing in Dallas where we had T.I. perform. We had a couple other big names, Mark Cuban, some other guys that came to the game. And essentially we did all 6 games, and it turned out great. Like everybody showed up, sold out crowd in Dallas. Wow. And so we decided, why not do this for the entire season in each city and just make each city, shut down the city. Let's have a festival and a party and have a good time. And like,
how many cities you go
to? 10 cities.
And you know them all?
No, I don't have any cities right now.
But it's mainly LA.
It's coming soon.
It's going to be the big cities.
Typically the big cities. We've gone to smaller cities. We went to Kansas City, Alabama. Okay. We go to the smaller cities and smaller states sometimes. It just really depends on what arenas want us there. Market. What does it look like? Exactly. How many people want us to show up? Yeah. So it's all over the place. But right now we're in the middle of trying to announce that stuff. It'll be out pretty soon.
So let me ask you something a little controversial. You're not involved obviously, but like I wanted to know if it affected you guys. The whole thing with China, the Houston Rockets, GM, Maury, and all that stuff goes on. Now, from what I've understood, and I'm just a sports head, I don't know anything in particular for each sport that great. I just know all of them. I've heard they've taken a huge hit in the NBA as far as financials. So like, China was a big part of their financials and all that. And I know the big 3. I know that thing got pulled when you guys went over there. Then has that hurt financially, or you're not really associated as much as the NBA is?
So we're not really involved in that. And the China thing was supposed to happen. We pulled back out of it because of the NBA stuff. We couldn't go over there. And from there on, I mean, we've still been trying to work on getting over there. Yeah. Obviously, with this coronavirus thing and some other stuff going on, I don't know when we would do it. But absolutely. I mean, that's something that we'd love to take this thing worldwide. Cube and Jeff have said it a million times.
No doubt.
Let's
they were over there, right?
Yeah, they had gone over there, I believe.
And who were they in discussions with? I saw Cube's posts.
Oh yeah. So there's a couple different people.
Guys,
yeah, exactly. So they've set up like arenas and things like that, and had some stuff set out. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Cuban Jeff. I mean, I think I wouldn't speak for them, but I would say that they would want to do worldwide stuff.
No doubt. But that didn't affect you guys.
No, not really.
Gotcha. Now, these trades happened the last few days. Tomorrow, Thursday, is the trade deadline. We talked early before we went on the air about the Lakers. Are they going to make a trade? The Clippers just made the Marcus Morris live here on the show. Who did the Clippers give up for him?
I don't know. I didn't read all that. I'm just excited about that.
So
hope they didn't give up Shamit, but I'm sure they had to. Sure they had to.
And so, how do you feel about the Golden State goes and gets D. Russell? Now they trade him today.
Yep.
Plus, Amari Castman. They got rid of a couple good young pieces. They got rid of Alec Burks yesterday.
Yep.
And
Glenn Robinson the third.
Robinson. So they're obviously shooting for picks. Obviously, they're going to be loaded next year. They're probably going to make a splash in the next few years when they get Clay and Steph back. They might have a big five again. Who knows what they end up getting out of it? So they've obviously washed their hands this year of their team. I thought those young players were really fucking good. That just kudos to their GM, what they've done with young players, and Kerr coaching them up for them being competitive this year. Later on, they started off shitty, but they beat Houston. They played teams hard. I think I blown out last night, obviously, because probably trade talks and you know how guys are. But what do you think about that trade? What do you think about the whole Memphis trade and Iguodala? I was hoping the Lakers would got him. And your thoughts? I know we talked about Iggy sitting out, and the whole back and forth with Ja and fucking. What's my man from Oregon?
Dylan Brooks. That's my guy.
I know Dylan bashed him a little bit. No, so my understanding was that Iggy was on the expectation he was going to get traded early in the season. He wasn't like he was bashing him and trying. He wasn't being a cancer, but at the same time they were like, "Well, you don't want to be here," which I feel both sides. Get the hell out, and so he gets traded to Miami Heat. Pat Riley's still doing big things. What do you think about all these trades going on?
I mean. So first of all, the Iguodala situation, Dylan's my man. I covered him in Oregon. I know him pretty well, and he's cut from a different cloth. Obviously, the way he spoke out. I bet you would probably know this too. In a locker room, you always have that one guy that kind of speaks up for what everybody's been feeling for days and days and days and days and days. That's exactly what he did. That's what he's going to do. He's going to take the trident and run with it. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And so I think that's what he was doing. And for me, it's like, if you're Andre Iguodala, you're making a ton of money, sitting, not doing anything, and it's a business.
No doubt.
You got to wait until you're traded.
No doubt.
He obviously didn't do anything to really stir the pot. I know he went on ESPN once, and I think that was a bad idea. I don't think you do that when you're not playing on a team.
So you feel he should have been playing, earning the money?
I mean, I don't even think he needs to be playing. I understand players want to get theirs and
give the money back.
Not even give the money back.
Hell no.
Don't go on ESPN and start blurting out stuff or talking about how you're this or that or the other thing. I gained years on my life because I'm sitting out. Well, you got the luxury to do that.
Yeah.
That's kind of messed up to me.
I think you had to do one or the other because of the people in the world that aren't entertainers, aren't fortunate enough to be NBA or NFL players. It's a fucking you problem, first of all. It's not Iguodala's problem that he made the NBA and your fucking scrub ass didn't out there hating in the world. But at the same time, there's jobs out there that are hard to find for regular humans like us. I think you need to work for the money you earn, or you give the money back and you get traded and you make new money. But I don't know. He's got the best of both worlds, making money, not having to play. I mean, I think it's a slap in the general public's face, but at the same time, it's also
a slap in the face to the team.
Of his team.
I mean, that's kind of the part I think that's kind of messed up.
I like Iggy. I thought he was always a
I like Iggy too. I'm nothing against him, really, to be honest. And I think
fuck the owners, the players that you play with. Fuck the motherfuckers that got billions. I'm not worrying about giving them money back. I'm worrying about the dude I'm in the locker room with. You know what I mean?
Or holding up moves. You're holding up money. money.
Brooks is on a minimum contract right now. He's
Right.
making, maybe $1 million, and Iggy's sitting out and making 15.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
hold on a second here. This doesn't really add. I can understand why players would be frustrated because he doesn't have the luxury to do that. He can't sit out because if he sits out, he's out of the league.
Right, yeah.
Iggy's got too much respect, so teams are going to take gambles on him and do that and whatever. Yeah. So I think it's a best of both worlds. It's tough to really, fine tune. Like, hey, I don't like what Iggy's done. I don't like what the Grizzlies have done. But like, there obviously was a miscommunication between the Grizzlies and Iguodala about when he would be traded and what would happen.
Or there's a miscommunication between the public. And the media. And the bench.
And that happens all the time too.
Yeah. So we don't know where it sits. We're just sitting there watching Twitter beef, and
plus you ain't really that dude. I mean, you played on a squad that had shit around you, so you're not going to a squad and.
But he is an instrumental piece to those games.
He's
a fucking he's a
major puzzle. He's a major puzzle.
He's a very good role player. Yeah. If people remember, he's the Ed Pinckney of the Boston Celtics back in the day, or he's one of these type. He's a Beverly.
You need them.
He need those guys, man. And he did great things. He's a great defender. Fucking hit a big shot. I mean, he's nasty. He's relentless. He'll go in there and get banged and take a charge. I mean, little things that you need on any team, football, basketball. You need those guys.
And that's what sucks to me is like Memphis is the 8th seed in the playoffs right now.
Them in New Orleans are going to battle.
They could really use a guy like Iggy, and he's not playing. I can understand why you're frustrated. But then the thing that really took me off and like ticked me off to another level is when I had heard, and this is this comes down to the miscommunication thing. Maybe the media is throwing things out that I don't know. But what was put out there was that Iggy wanted to be close to home, which is like L.A., Cali, Southern Cal. So it's like, hold on a second. So you just got traded to Miami. You're going to play for Miami. That's further away than Memphis.
Right.
Yet you weren't playing for Memphis. Okay, I understand. I get it. Whatever.
That's why I was hoping he'd be a Laker.
It's crazy to me. And he's also playing on the East, so now he's playing against East Coast teams more, not the West Coast teams. It doesn't make any sense on that level. But, I mean, I get it. If you want to go to a contender and try and win, whatever. You do you. Hey, congratulations on getting a new deal. And, man, I don't know. He finessed his way into that.
No doubt. Hey, more kudos to him. I mean, if that's what it's going to. Hopefully, both teams are better, and it could be.
It's good that it's all over.
People laugh at it at the end. What about the Wiggins to Golden State? Who else they get? I don't know. It just all this shit happened.
I think it's just Wiggins.
Wiggins and some picks.
Yeah, some picks and Wiggins, and then
Minnesota
Evans. I think Evans was in that. Was that Evans and Spillman? They were in that mix.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. So I mean, I like D'Lo a lot. I mean, I've had the pleasure of talking to him a few different times. I just like him. I always felt real bad for him in L.A. here because that whole snitching situation. And
they were shitty.
I never did like that kid after that.
He was, and I can understand why you didn't like him, but I can understand you being a boneheaded 19-year-old, like just to, whatever, not thinking much of it. But you got to.
It's a man's world. It's a man's world when you step up.
He realized it, but he grew. He's gotten much better every single season. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves would be better off with him, but at the same time, the Timberwolves are on a very short leash at this point. Like they made so many deals and moves, and they've got this guy Karl Anthony Towns who's been kind of whining on the sidelines. You can just tell by his facial expressions he doesn't want to be there. Doesn't want to play.
Bad body language is the number one unrecruitable fucking kid. I will never recruit a bad body language.
You don't want that on your team.
And look, he's a great player. But when your attitude is like that,
he can't do nothing for your team. Like
you're taking away from the team because they're looking at you.
Hopefully, they got best friends now, D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. They can turn it around. But I think the Warriors are loading up for the next few years.
No doubt,
they're gonna be really good.
And Wiggins is that off the ball wingman that could, I think, that plays better with the Clay and the Steph than Russell. I think Russell needs to demand the ball.
I mean, Russell obviously point guard driven, handles the ball a lot. Wiggins obviously a wing player. He's gotten better at his 3-point shooting. He's gotten better at defending. He still needs to work on a few things, but I think
But the pressure's going to be off of him. He don't have to be that
have to be that guy. And and you see those guys all the time. I'm sure you recruited some of these kids that in D1 just didn't look like the player that you saw in high school.
Right. Okay.
And then they come down to Independence and they show out because they feel like this is it. This is their moment. They feel comfortable. It's all about 90%. And look, I was going to say this. When you play any sport at a semi-high level, you understand that there's this competitive nature that goes on. And I think when you look at players nowadays, 90% is in their head and their mentality. Ben Simmons.
Yeah. Don't want to shoot because it's in his head.
Myers Leonard's another guy. He's admitted
Myers Leonard,
yeah. He hasn't been able to shoot the 3-point shot because he just doesn't feel comfortable with it. Yeah. He stutters.
But he has a nice stroke.
But you look at him in practice and you're like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Where did this guy come
mental.
from? Yeah. It's all mental. And
or you're a gamer or you're not.
Yeah, that's
another
true.
part of it.
Yeah.
Yep. You got guys like Ron Artest.
Simmons is a bigger, more athletic Lonzo Ball to me, but with a better looking shot. Like that's how I equate him. Lonzo has gotten a little better with the shot, but obviously he's more of a guy that wants to distribute the rock and and make outstanding passes and do that thing. LeBron still not a great shooter in my opinion. He's a guy that's similar to Ben Simmons, a more freakish, athletic, thicker, faster
Giannis,
body.
the same thing.
Giannis,
you got a lot of these guys that don't really shoot
man,
necessarily, but yeah.
And then you go back and you got the Dirks of the world with now the Porzingises and the Dirks who are shooters at 7 foot. And
the Embiid,
decent passer,
decent passer, a little less athletic, gets injured a little bit more,
Yeah. Now, what do you think about this? School, what do you think about this youngster at Dallas, man? Is he the truth, or
Luka?
Yeah, is Luka the truth, or is he?
Game over, man. I'm sorry. It's this guy. Every single person you talk to,
I know. That's what I mean.
Hey, Luka. What do you think about Luka?
Yeah,
he raw.
No.
I try to doubt him.
No. Name the last time we saw somebody of that size. He's like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
Can distribute the ball that well, can shoot the ball that well, and he is 20. I mean, it's just insane.
Kobe.
To me, I'm thinking to myself, like,
Kobe's the last guy. I mean, that could shoot at his age.
Yeah.
Because LeBron wasn't a shooter. LeBron was a scorer. There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
Kobe was a shooter and a scorer. There's only a few of those.
But the range is insane.
It's it's Ray Allen, Paul Pierce. It's Reggie Miller-ish.
I don't even know what to describe that. It feels like this is Steph. This is Steph
maybe.
with more size.
More Klay Thompson size. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just insane to see this guy play.
But my thing is,
it's insane.
Here's my thing about it, though. Like, he's doing great and all that stuff. He has struggled against a Laker and a Clippers team that are longer and athletic. I'm just a sports guy because I'm a personnel guy. Okay, so I was a recruiter.
Go ahead.
I don't think his game sustainable based on the fact how athletic I don't know. The game's only getting more athletic. It's not going to regress in athleticism. You can argue the centers now are not really centers no more. There's not Shaquille no more. There's not fucking Luke Longley. Embiid is the last one, but he's still pretty fluent. I mean,
he still tries to shoot.
He has a better shot and better mid-range game than Shaq ever had. Shaq was just more dominant and take the game over in a way with that mindset that Embiid will never have. So, but my thing is the game is, you got all these 5s really / 3s. I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
You got Tucker, PJ Tucker's about to fucking play center at 6'7". So, I mean, like, I don't know if he's sustainable as far as does he get, have you figured out the last few weeks? I mean, fucking James Harden's kind of getting figured out a little bit more than he ever has. They're starting to play his left. I mean, starting looking at different shit. That fucking hop back jumper.
One pony show.
I mean, so does he sustain at it? Because he's not the most fleet-footed, quickest cat. He's more of a smarter
problem
game.
Coming into the draft.
Yeah.
Everybody had
but he benefited from going overseas.
I think
Ball's doing the same thing.
Smart thing.
I think Ball and I think college basketball in totality is going to get hurt based on things like the Wiseman situation in Memphis. Based on these fucking things happening, the NCAA is fucking these kids, and more kids are going to start going overseas. Big 3 maybe even now with the age restriction. You play a couple years overseas, go to Big 3. Or vice versa. But I'm just saying, NCAA may be getting it. They better be careful on how they are.
They're messing around a little bit too
Ohio
much.
State's defensive end gets fucked by buying his girl a ticket to the Rose Bowl. I mean, this shit's stupid. And they're making billions off these kids. And
worrying about some small shit.
And you can't even get these motherfuckers a guaranteed college degree. They leave you, and then you get 10 semesters or 5 years.
They got to go back in 10 years and shit.
But they go back. but I don't know, man. It's a slippery slope for the NCAA, and I'm glad the Big Three's there. I'm glad there's other avenues for these kids. But I think Luka benefited from going over there. I think Ball's brother is going to benefit from going over there. Wiseman gets hurt. He's sitting out now, having a home train, sitting out.
Yep.
And how does that work?
We've seen that before. I mean, like Anthony Simons of the Portland Trailblazers sat out his entire college career and just worked at IMG Academy.
Yeah.
So this happens more and more frequently, I think, than we've noticed or seen.
Yeah,
I mean, guys go to Australia, overseas. Brandon Jennings was kind of the first guy, real guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then he went to Oak Hill.
Yep. And that guy, I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Filthy. Love watching him play. But, that's going to happen more and more frequently, especially because the money in Australia is getting bigger.
Yep.
Even in the Big Three, we offer pretty good contracts for guys.
Yeah.
That, to me, it's a selling point. You can go ahead. Look, if you know that you're going to be a hooper.
Yeah.
You don't know what your future is going to hold. That's the thing about college to me. And this goes even deeper than just sports. You go to college and you're paying for it, you need to know what you're going to school for. You need to understand, I want to do X. Because we
can have this discussion, brother.
Because look,
for hours.
Yeah, we could definitely go into this for hours.
But not to cut you off, hold that thought. You're trying to earn the college degree that's going to cost you $100,000 that you'll never make back in your career.
Exactly.
You'll
Unless you know that you want to be a doctor, and you want to do this or that or the other thing.
Not only do you, unless you know, but can you get it done?
Yep.
Are you going to be an NBA or an NFL player?
Yep.
I don't know. That's the only way they pay back those fucking student loans.
Absolutely.
The guy making $50,000 trying to live and have a family, he's never paying back the student loan. That's why student loan debt is the number one fucking debt.
And I'll be honest, I didn't get through school. I went to college for one term.
Yeah.
I dropped out, and that's what happened. And look, I'm not saying drop out. This is the smartest thing in the world.
Yeah.
There are every walk of life, every path, everything that you can possibly do. But the thing is the most important thing is if you know what you want to do and you know it may not require the degree to do it, I say go after it first, and then if it doesn't work, you can always go back.
Yeah.
You can always go back. That option's always available.
That's why this world is experience-based, hands-on. That's what this is nowadays. It always has been, in my opinion, but this piece of paper that you get with this college degree, to me, has been
it's not rare anymore.
It's the most overrated fucking piece of paper that you can ever get. You can wipe your ass with it, some people can say, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurs now, trades, become a fucking hands-on welder, mechanic. These trade schools are now, these people are making, there's a lot of more successful cats out there now that's got, there's an old saying back then, and we used to, in recruiting, we used to use it, and I stopped using it because I stopped, I never wanted to lie to a kid, and I thought I was lying to them when I heard this, but they say, you will make $1 million more in your life with a college degree than the guy with a high school diploma. I don't believe that anymore. That was a fact for a long time.
Yeah.
You also fucking pay back $1 million goddamn dollars. So, I don't know if it's true anymore in that.
But you gotta have it.
To each his own, man.
The fact is, you gotta have it, no matter how worthless it is.
Certain
jobs.
There are certain jobs that you have to have.
Yeah, I know a lady that has 30 years of experience in insurance company. 30 years, and she goes to shopping for new jobs. They won't accept her. She's great at everything. They love everything, but she doesn't have that fucking paperwork. And she's
and
that's 30 years of fucking experience. Are you shitting me?
Yeah, it's painful because you see these people who are smart, they're talented, they do the right things, they've worked for their entire life, they have experience in certain things, and they don't get the opportunity because of a piece of paper. And then you see companies, I mean, look, Elon Musk is kind of here and there and everywhere, and I'm not going to say that I fully vouch or support him or whatever, but his company recently just announced that they don't need college degrees.
Yeah. Wow.
They're not requiring it on resumes or anything else. And to me, that's smart.
Yes, it is. Yes.
You need to do that stuff.
You're getting a broader pool.
Exactly. Yeah. You're getting more of a broad pool. Who cares? You could interview 50 people, and if the guy with the college degree has the best application and looks the best, you take him.
Right.
But there are other opportunities out there. Don't cut everybody out.
That's like
Come
the
on.
fucking Rooney Rule, brother. You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
It's the exact same thing.
And my thing is, let's interview the best guy, and you take the best guy. I don't give a fuck.
How is the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator not a head coach yet?
We grew up together. Eric Bieniemy.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Man,
I mean, well, they start the Rooney Rule years ago. there's 3 black head coaches. This thing's been going on. There's fucking 3 black head coaches.
Yeah.
So I mean, it hasn't changed. You have 4. You have 4 fucking minorities coaching right now with Ron Rivera, who a lot of people can argue he's fucking white. So I mean, not that he is, but I'm just saying.
Right.
You know, a lot of brothers may say, "Fuck that, he's white."
Yeah.
So I mean, like you think about it, but there's 4 minorities, and the Rooney Rule's been in effect how long? And Roger Goodell comes out and says, I know we're off topic here, but it's Slapdick podcast. He's talking about, well, it has to change. Well, fuck, you're the commissioner that makes $1 billion.
$40 million.
Make the change, motherfucker. Like, goddamn, go change it. But I mean, I don't know.
It sounds simple to us, but you know,
yeah,
that
there
world,
may be more to it, and I don't know. I just don't know. It may be something corrupt inside of each NFL organization. It could be something else. I mean, I know the Raiders did well for a while there.
Yeah,
hiring our board member Amy Trask, people like that.
But at the same time, we've had this discussion on this show, and like I told Spree, and me and Marcellus Wiley, we've all talked about it. Eddie George, tell there's a black owner, brother. It's hard to fucking argue. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day,
we need to make ballers reality.
Yeah, let's get these fucking.
That's why we love the Big 3 type shit. That start bringing in that element to those type of leagues, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's why you get the fucking
XFL
fireball
now,
and that's why you get the shit talking and the fucking checking.
XFL's
because that's the culture.
Yep.
They don't want that culture in fucking baseball. It's not the culture that they want.
Oliver, I know you got to get going here. What's your thought about the XFL? It starts this Saturday.
I'm excited.
NFL just ended and the XFL starts. I think it's exciting.
Look, man, it's another new league. I think it's another new opportunity for a lot of people.
Very successful. I know he stumbled early with this league and is a one-hitter quitter for 1 year. And I had a lot of buddies playing it, but. I think he's learned, and I think he thinks it's a sustainable deal, at least a 10-year plan that he has. Because I was involved in interviewing for a coaching job there. But go ahead. What do you think? I think I
like it. I mean, I think it'll be fun. It gives people who watch football an opportunity to watch football in the off season.
Yeah.
And the most important thing, and I think this goes back to Big 3. It goes back to any new sports league, even UFC, MMA stuff. You create an opportunity for a lot of players that have been, not for long, kicked out, done this or done that, or for whatever reason just didn't fit. I mean, sometimes you've seen it before. If your offensive line can't block, you can't run the damn ball. And so for me, it's like sometimes those running backs are diamonds in the rough.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what they can do. Mostert. How many teams cut him? How many teams threw him under the rug? There's so many of those stories, though. I mean, Kenyon Drake, he looked like a lost soul in Miami.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Arizona, and it's like, where did this come from?
Yeah.
This guy is the guy that we all thought he would be.
Yep.
It makes sense.
Yep.
Oh, wait, Arizona wanted to use him? Hold on a second.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, for me, it gives these guys an opportunity to get back in the league, get back playing.
No doubt.
And that's the most important thing, because these guys, I think you've seen it.
Right.
Players leave the game and they make mistakes.
Right.
They go do drugs. They go do things on the street. They lose their minds because they don't have the thing that they've played and loved their entire life.
Yeah.
So for me, XFL is a great opportunity for any football player, and like I said, I mean it ties back into Big 3 and all these new leagues that are starting up. I think,
like you said, NFL and not for long, NBA not balling again. I don't know what
there
you
you go.
Say. It was acronym. I'm an acronym guy, but hey man, it was a pleasure having you on, man. What's your social media, man? Drop it out there for everybody.
Maroney Big 3.
Maroney.
Yep.
Big 3.
Yeah, Big 3. Maroney Big 3.
Yep.
Had to snap the pic with Spree here.
I
I will say, I'm glad I'm not taking Spree's place with Stogie.
I appreciate that. I like Stogie. I like Stogie to have that one great leg to fuck on, and that's Spree. And I don't want you to take that.
I'm glad I'm not.
I know you ran into Stogie earlier today in the house, and
hey, it was fine.
He was pretty good with you. He was pretty good with you.
Yep.
So I appreciate you coming out here. I know you got Michael Cooper coming up, driving out to see us, man. And I noticed you driving a fucking Maserati. I ain't gonna say nothing.
No. This is an upgraded rental car. Please do not. I do not have any sort of money like that.
It really is, everybody.
Our upgrade is a fucking Kia, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, everything's relative, man. You know what I'm saying? Relative. Me and Spree's upgrade is a Kia for what we do because we're Slapdick.
Hey,
Oliver Big 3's upgrade goes from a fucking Porsche Porsche to a Maserati.
Nah, not a Porsche to a
Hey,
Maserati.
it's cool, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with him. Nah, hey, I appreciate you coming on, brother.
sir.
Appreciate it,
Appreciate
man.
you coming out,
Appreciate it.
man.
Nah, I'm a big fan of your guys'. I love the
appreciate
show,
it.
obviously.
Me too, us too, man.
Last Chance U. I mean, I gotta tell you, big fan of that show as well.
No doubt.
But it was great having you come out to
No
championship
doubt.
week and
Hell
everything
yeah.
as well.
Do it again, maybe, homie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sure.
Come out to the tryouts.
Hell
Let's
yeah,
see
we
you
might
ball.
have to. Hell yeah. I'm
Let's
a
see it
hoop right
happen,
now.
man.
Shit,
Let's see it
I
happen.
won a few state titles. From my main man Spree, Oliver Maroney, Big 3, the real Coach JB, the Slapdick Podcast, episode 20. We'll holler at you. We're out.
Yeah, out of here.
Hope this ain't my last chance. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me. Will I make it? Will I take it to the top? We gon' see. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me. Will I make it? Will I take it to the top? We gon' see. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me. It's the last chance for you. Last chance for me.
Best fight of God, man. I'm just telling you.